Thriller Bark, a haunting playground of shadows and spectacle where terror meets humor, and Eiichiro Oda crafts a story about friendship, sacrifice, and unbreakable will. This arc is an underrated but masterful blend of suspense, humor, and heart. From the haunting atmosphere to the Straw Hats' relentless determination, every moment feels larger than life. Thriller Bark isn't just a silly story of shadows and monsters. It's about the human spirit, the promises we make, and the lengths we will go for those we care about. I'll be reviewing Post-Enies Lobby and Thriller Bark and share my thoughts while reading One Piece for the first time, since the experience while reading is in my opinion completely different than watching the anime. So welcome to Thriller Bark, written and illustrated by Eiichiro Oda. But before we continue, if you enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thank you! Breaking in the world of One Piece, having finally reached the moon, Enere from Skypiea arc encounters a group of small robots known as automata, as well as a vicious group of space pirates. With his great space operations, Enere's Goro Goro no Mi powers wind up activating not only all of the automata, but their entire city as well. And the self-proclaimed god discovers his true roots. Post-Enies Lobby. Chapters 431 to 441. Reunited, Revelation, and a Warning. 2 days after their victory at Enies Lobby, the Straw Hats returned to Water 7 for a brief but impactful moment of respite. The city is full with life. Iceberg dreams of grand innovation, and Franky pours his soul into crafting the crew's new future ship, a vessel worthy of the Pirate King's journey. It feels like a calm after the storm. But in true One Piece fashion as we know, the calm only lasts so long. Vice Admiral Garp smashes into the scene, quite literally, with walls crumbling as he punches Luffy awake. What follows is a whirlwind of revelations. Garp isn't just some marine powerhouse, he is Luffy's grandfather. And if that wasn't enough to process, he casually drops the fact that Luffy's father is none other than Monkey D. Dragon, the world's most wanted revolutionary. It's a bombshell moment, perfectly blending humor and shock as Luffy's carefree nature suddenly takes the layers of depth. You can see the shift from just external adventures to the weight of legacy and the world around Luffy. He's not just a boy chasing his dream of becoming the Pirate King anymore. He's a thread in a web of monumental figures shaping the world. Yet, even with his newfound knowledge, Luffy stays true to himself, determined to forge his own path, which is just so wonderful to see. Meanwhile, in the distance, the world is stirring. Shanks and Whitebeard, two legendary figures, meet in an electrifying standoff that literally splits the sky. Their conversation is about Blackbeard and Ace, which does feel like a calm before the storm, a foreshadowing of battles yet to come. And even closer to home, Kobe, the once timid cabin boy, reappears as a confident marine with his own dream of becoming an admiral, vowing to meet Luffy again in the new world. And this arc actually is a perfect bridge between what's behind and what lies ahead. Oda seamlessly waves humor and heartfelt connection and world-shaking revelations, creating a narrative that feels personal yet immense. Garp's explanation of the four emperors and the new world sets the stage for bigger conflicts, while the Straw Hats' quiet moments of rest remind us why their bond matters so much. New Bounties. While waiting for their new ship to be completed, the crew is met with humor, heart, and revelations that hint at even greater adventures ahead. Kokoro casually reveals their next destination, Fishman Island, lying underwater. She warns of the Florian Triangle, a ghostly region where ships mysteriously vanish, adding even an eerie undertone to their excitement. Meanwhile, updated bounties spark chaos. Luffy's bounty jumps to 300 million berry, Zoro's to 120 million, and while the world takes them seriously, Sanji is humiliated by a terrible sketch on his wanted poster, and Chopper is insulted by his laughable 50 berry bounty. The humor never overshadows the sense of growth and the rising stakes. Also, Franky's recruitment takes center stage. After a hilarious chase involving stolen underwear, Iceberg reminds him that building a ship isn't enough. He needs to see it sail. Overcome with so much emotion, Franky joins the crew, masking his excitement with his signature bravado. And the reveal of their new ship is such a highlight, revealing the 1000 Sunny. Bigger and better than the Going Merry, the Sunny represents not just a fresh start, but the crew's readiness for dangers ahead. It's a masterpiece filled with Franky's quirky ingenuity and the spirit of their shared dreams. The return of Usopp and the crew's departure. Usopp's emotional return is a standout moment, and his apology solidifies the crew's bond and underscores Zoro's role as their moral compass. It's a reminder that trust and accountability are at the heart of their journey. The debut of the 1000 Sunny marks their fresh start. Bigger and stronger, the Sunny embodies the crew's growth and readiness for the challenges ahead. Garp's chaotic attack and Sunny's epic escape via coup de basto sets an exhilarating tone for their first voyage with the Sunny. Blackbeard versus Fire Fist Ace. Under the blazing sun of Banaro Island, destiny unfolds as Fire Fist Ace confronts Blackbeard, a man driven by dark ambition. Blackbeard's betrayal of the Whitebeard pirates and his obsession with the Yami Yami no Mi reveal him as a villain unlike any we have seen. Calculated, ruthless, and unstoppable in his quest for power. Opposite him stands Ace, flames blazing with loyalty and resolve, fighting not just for Whitebeard's honor, but for the principles Blackbeard has broken. The battle is as much as a clash of ideals as of power. Light against darkness, hope against despair. Ace's fiery attacks light up the battlefield, building up in an awe-inspiring moment as he summons flames as bright as the sun to fight Blackbeard's consuming darkness. This fight is a turning point, showing that the story shifts to a larger yet darker stage. Blackbeard and Ace clearly embody opposite philosophies that ripple far beyond this island. It's not just a duel, it's a spark that lights the chaos of that what still has to come. Thriller Bark, chapters 442 to 489. A haunting journey begins. After the chaos of Anna's lobby, the Straw Hats find peace on the 1000 Sunny, enjoying the ship's upgrades and each other's company. But as always, calm never lasts long in the Grand Line. The crew drifts into the eerie Florian Triangle, a fog-filled area known for its ghost ships and strange occurrences. When a mysterious barrel with a red beam shoots into the sky, Nami quickly steers the ship away from danger, leading them right into the heart of the mist. The Straw Hats encounter a ghost ship and meet Brook, a talking skeleton with a violin. His first request? To see Nami's panties, of course. As outrageous as he is, Luffy instantly invites him to join the crew, and in a surprise twist, Brook agrees. But beneath his quirky exterior lies a tragic past. His shadow was stolen, leaving him cursed in the foggy triangle, unable to survive in sunlight. Brook's introduction is yet so hilarious but also so heart-wrenching. His upbeat attitude hides a deep loneliness. And through his story, the Straw Hats and us as readers begin to understand the weight of his past. Luffy's offer to join the crew serves as a lifeline for Brook, continuing the series' theme of found family, where even the most broken souls are welcome. This early part of Thriller Bark blends humor, mystery, and emotional depth perfectly. The atmosphere of the Florian Triangle sets the stage for an adventure that promises danger and intrigue, while Brook's tragic backstory hints at the darker theme that is yet to come. In this part of One Piece, it brilliantly balances spooky vibes with humor, showing also that while the journey ahead is uncertain, the Straw Hats will face it together, each member offering a unique piece of their crew's bond. And as the Sunny is pulled into mysteriousness, you cannot help but feel a mix of excitement and unease. The Straw Hats are entering a new chapter, one that's both unpredictable and yet filled with heart. The Ghost Island. The Straw Hats' journey takes a dark turn when they enter the Florian Triangle, a place shrouded in mystery and danger. The strange skeleton Brook leads them to Thriller Bark, a massive, ominous island with a chilling presence. Luffy, driven by his unyielding spirit of adventure, insists on exploring the island, even though the rest of the crew hesitates, obviously fearing the unknown. As Nami, Usopp, and Chopper arrive, their first encounter is with a bizarre three-headed dog, leading them deeper into the island's strange mysteries. They soon meet Hildon, a vampire-like figure who invites them to Dr. Hokbak's mansion, where Chopper, a fan of the legendary but a missing doctor, insists they go. Things take a sinister turn when Hildon abandons them in the graveyard full of zombies, and they barely escape to the mansion. There, they meet Sindri, a maid with a dark past, and Dr. Hokbak, who claims to be researching zombies. Nami grows suspicious as she uncovers the tragic truth about Sindri's past. Meanwhile, back on Thousand Sunny, Luffy and the others drawn to the island discover their ship caught in a giant web. Despite the looming dangers, Luffy's humor shines as he tries to tame or recruit strange creatures. But the crew faces even greater threats in form of zombies and ghostly figures that induce depression and despair. They soon learn that Thriller Bark is not an island, but the world's largest pirate ship, controlled by the notorious warlord of the sea, Gecko Moria? As Nami, Usopp, and Chopper explore the mansion further, they uncover Hokbak's dark experiments, including the creation of a zombie named Ryuma. Shockingly, Ryuma resembles Brook and even shares his odd obsession with Nami's panties. The three barely escape his deadly strength, only to find themselves facing the terrifying zombie generals, big creatures with stitched together bodies. Absalom, one of the generals, takes an immediate interest in Nami, declaring his intention to make her his bride. The tension peaks as midnight strikes, with the haunted island's secrets revealing. The threat of Gecko Moria. Luffy, Franky, and Robin stumble into Gecko Moria's mansion and are ambushed by his army of zombie generals, powered by the sinister Kage no Mi, which steals shadows to bring them to life. When Luffy's shadow is stolen, he's left unconscious and vulnerable, setting the stage for a showdown with Moria, who, like Luffy, dreams of becoming the king of the pirates. Meanwhile, Nami, Chopper, and Usopp navigate the bizarre Wonder Garden, filled with strange creatures and even stranger characters. The trios escape from the zombie warthog Lola, and their run-ins with Absalom's creepy obsession with Nami adds both horror and humor into the mix. The zombies, controlled by stolen shadows, become a direct threat to the Straw Hats' sense of self, creating a unique and unsettling atmosphere. It's creepy but absurd, with each encounter striking a balance between genuine danger and One Piece's trademark of goofiness. Brook's dramatic return is one of the arc's highlights. He not only saves Franky and Robin from the giant spider, but also provides crucial information about Moria's zombies. His backstory about Laboon and the pain of losing his own shadow adds an emotional depth to the story. Brook's fight against the zombies, humming cheerfully as he effortlessly slays them, showcases the absurdity and the genius of One Piece's storytelling. And then there's Moria, one of the most intriguing warlords. Unlike previous villains, Moria isn't about brute strength. He's manipulative, lazy, and fearful of failure, especially after his defeat by Kaido. His desire to become Pirate King mirrors Luffy, but his cowardness shows what Luffy could become if he lost sight of his dream. It's a brilliant contrast that adds another layer to this arc's complexity. Retrieving the shadows before sunrise. The chaos in Thriller Bark escalates as the Straw Hats scramble to stop Gecko Moria's sinister plan. The freezer chamber becomes ground zero for a horrifying revelation. Moria has awakened the ancient giant Oars by implanting Luffy's shadow into it. Oars, roaring to life, declares himself the future pirate king, sending Moria's zombies army into a frenzy and throwing the Straw Hats into a fight for their lives. The stakes never have been higher. If they don't reclaim their stolen shadows before sunrise, they will be doomed. While Luffy's crew faces off against Oars, Nami, Usopp, and Chopper are trapped by Absalom and his zombie forces. Nami's kidnapping by Absalom leads to a classic One Piece absurdity, an involuntary wedding, while Usopp and Chopper fight off waves of zombies. Just as things seem bleak, Robin and Franky swoop in, using salt to purify the undead and buy the crew some precious time. The tension builds as the Straw Hats realize that stopping Moria is the only way to save themselves and the island. Meanwhile, Brook faces a personal nightmare. His shadow has been stolen and implanted into Ryuma, a powerful zombie samurai who now wields Brook's very essence. Determined to protect his identity and his afro, his last link to his old friend Laboom, Brook faces Ryuma in a duel full of humor and emotional weight. As Franky shares Brook's heartbreaking story with the crew, the mission's emotional stakes are raised even higher. Luffy, inspired by Brook's resolve, declares that Brook must join the crew, claiming his place in the Straw Hat family. With the threat of Oars and Moria looming, Luffy leads the charge towards Moria's lair, leaving the rest of the crew to handle their own battles. Sanji is out for blood, determined to rescue Nami from this ridiculous wedding, while Usopp takes on Perona, whose Horo no Mi powers render most the crew helpless. But Usopp's naturally pessimistic nature turns out to be his greatest strength, allowing him to turn the tables on her and help the others push forward. As Oars brings more chaos to Thriller Bark, the Straw Hats are forced to confront not only Moria's schemes, but also the overwhelming power of this undead giant, a twisted reflection of Luffy himself. This is yet the biggest challenge, but their bonds and determination to protect one another drives them forward. And yes, despite the absurdity of the situation, like Franky casually building a bridge mid-battle, the stakes are real and the action is relentless. Battling the Mysterious Four. As the sun begins its countdown to rise, the chaos on Thriller Bark reaches a higher pitch. The Straw Hat Pirates, with their shadows stolen and time running out, fight desperately to reclaim their lives and stop Gecko Moria's evil plan. Every moment of this section is a whirlwind of humor, high stakes, and emotional depth, showcasing the crew's individual strength and unity like never before. Usopp, usually the comic relief, takes center stage in this showdown with Perona, but this time he no longer is the reluctant coward. His sharp wit and natural pessimism becomes his greatest weapon. Perona's ghostly attacks backfire as Usopp uses his negative outlook to trick her in one of the most satisfying, clever victories of this arc. It's a statement to how far Usopp has come, turning his biggest weakness into his strength. Then there's Sanji, whose fight with Absalom is fueled with his unwavering chivalry and deep loyalty to Nami. Seeing him battle his way through to save Nami and defeat Absalom is a mix of comedy and raw power. Sanji's hot-headed, protective nature shines through in full force, and the moment he kicks Absalom into the air feels like a release of all his pent-up frustrations, making it one of the most satisfying moments in this arc also. Meanwhile, Brook's emotional journey takes center stage as he faces Ryuma, the zombie who now wields Brook's shadow. This battle is as much about Brook's past as it is about his present. His promise to Laboon adds an emotional weight that goes beyond just a fight for survival. Brook's vulnerability as he struggles with his past and his desire to reunite with his old friend really makes it heartbreaking. When Zoro swoops in to claim Ryuma's legendary sword and help Brook restore his shadow, it's a victorious moment for Brook, a long-awaited step toward fulfilling his promise. Meanwhile, Robin and Chopper confront Dr. Hogback, whose perverse use of medicine to turn Sindri into a soulless puppet reveals the twisted depths of his corruption. Together, they expose his wrongdoings, briefly giving Sindri back her humanity before Oars' wrath puts an end on Hokbak's reign. The heart of the arc, however, lies in Luffy's confrontation with Moria. Luffy's unwavering determination to retrieve his crew's shadows and defeat Moria is everything that makes him the future Pirate King. Moria, smug and confident, underestimates Luffy's resolve, but Luffy kicks him off his throne in a pure Luffy moment. This battle marks the beginning of an epic showdown. One where Luffy's idealism and fierce willpower are pitted against Moria's manipulative schemes. And of course, we cannot ignore the threat that is Oars, the massive zombie giant under Moria's control. Oars' size and power make him a terrifying force of nature, but his chaos also highlights the urgency of Straw Hats' race against time. As Oars rampages through Thriller Bark, the crew's determination never stops. Whether it's Usopp outsmarting Perona, Sanji charging towards to protect Nami, or Zoro and Brook stepping up to overcome their personal challenges. The Straw Hats against Oars. Thriller Bark ramps up in intensity as the Straw Hat Pirates face off against one of the most imposing foes yet. Oars, a giant zombie with overwhelming power. The fight is unlike any other, forcing the crew to rethink their tactics and adapt to new ones, since this is a dangerous and new kind of battle. Franky, Zoro, and Sanji take the lead, but even their combined strength is not enough to match Oars' colossal size and strength. As the crew struggles, the stakes get even higher when Nami escapes from Absalon's clutches with the help from Lola, only to find Perona looting the treasure room, adding even more chaos to an already chaotic situation. But the real game changer comes with the unexpected arrival of Kuma, the terrifying warlord of the sea. His presence sends shockwaves through the crew, leaving them unsure of what lies ahead. Meanwhile, the fight with Oars rages on, and with a revived Brook lending his strength, the Straw Hats start to land powerful combo attacks, bringing the giant down little by little. Just when victory seems within reach, Moria taunts them from within Oars' stomach, demanding they defeat the giant to reclaim their stolen shadows. As the battles escalates, Luffy, still lost in the forest, encounters Moria's previous victims and learns that he must defeat Oars if he wants to stand a chance against Moria. Empowered by the shadows of others, Luffy transforms into Nightmare Luffy, gaining unimaginable strength. And with this newfound power, Luffy takes on Oars and Moria, slowly overpowering them both. But when Moria manipulates Oars and steals Robin's shadow, things get even more intense. Luffy steps in just in time, using his Gear 3 power to deliver a final bone-shattering blow to Oars, bringing him down once and for all. As the sun begins to rise, the Straw Hats, completely destroyed but relieved, finally gain the upper hand. The battle ends in victory, but it's clear that their courage, camaraderie, and unyielding determination were pushed to the limit. Thriller Bark, with its unpredictable twists, supernatural elements, and the deeper themes, showcases how far the crew has come. It's not all about just defeating this giant zombie. It's about working together, adapting to every challenge, and proving that no matter the odds, they can always overcome what's thrown at them. Looking back at the arc, the confrontation with Oars stands out as a testament to the Straw Hats' creativity and also their spirit. The stakes feel higher than ever, and Oars' sheer size and power make this battle especially gripping. But it's not just about the brute force. The crew has to dig deep into their bag of tricks, coming together in ways they have never seen and done before. Franky, Zoro, and Sanji's ridiculous human tower combo attack might fail in the end, but it's one of those signature One Piece moments that blends absurdity with heart. And you cannot help but laugh at the crew's never give up attitude. Nami too proves how much she has grown as a fighter and a leader also. going head-to-head with Perona in an effort to stop her from looting the treasure room. And this arc also very much shows that it's not just about Luffy being the hero. It's about everyone pulling their weight and contributing to the battle. And that is exactly what Thriller Bark makes so special. It's about teamwork, growth, and a relentless will to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like all hope is lost. And another thing that really stands out is the use of shadows, particularly Luffy's transformation into Nightmare Luffy. The idea of shadows as a power boosts and adds a unique twist to the battle, and Luffy's newfound strength is more than just a physical advantage. It pushes him to reach his limits and explore his character further. Seeing him fight not just for himself, but for his crew and the shadows of those who believe in him is a powerful moment that really ties to the recurring theme in One Piece, the unbreakable bond of the crew. And there's also the looming presence of Kuma, whose appearance sets stage for even bigger things to come. While his role in this arc isn't that huge, it's enough to remind us that the world of One Piece is vast and interconnected, with secrets and bigger threats lying just beyond the horizon. The Endless Nightmare. The Straw Hats just have taken down Oars, and it seems like they've won. But just as they catch their breath, Moria, still not finished, unleashes his most terrifying form yet, Shadow's Asgard. Absorbing the shadows of Oars and his entire zombie army, Moria transforms into a grotesque, monstrous being with the power that could crush the crew once and for all. The sun is rising, threatening to burn away the shadows and seal their fate. But Luffy, never one to back down, pulls out all the stops. Combining Gear 2 and Gear 3, Luffy delivers a blow that shatters Thriller Bark's mast, forcing Moria to expel the stolen shadows just in time. Victory is almost theirs. Almost. Just as the Straw Hats think they have emerged victorious, the ground shakes beneath their feet. Bartholomew Kuma, a warlord of the sea that has been sent by the world government to eliminate anyone who witnessed Moria's defeat. Without breaking a sweat, Kuma overpowers the crew, rendering them helpless. And then, in a moment of pure selflessness, Zoro steps up to protect Luffy, offering his life in exchange for Luffy's safety. The emotional weight of this moment is impossible to ignore, because Zoro is willing to die for his captain. Even when Sanji tries to do the same, Zoro knocks him out, a testament that is to his unshakable loyalty. Kuma, cold and calculating, agrees to his sacrifice. Using his terrifying powers, he transfers Luffy's pain onto Zoro. And when the crew wakes up, they find Luffy unharmed. But Zoro, standing alone, covered in blood, and bearing the unimaginable pain of their suffering. And Zoro just says, "Nothing happened." And these simple words hit harder than any battle cry. It's a moment that shows the bond between the Straw Hats, a moment that shows the true depth of their loyalty to one another. Bidding farewell with a song. The Straw Hats celebrate their hard-fought victory at Thriller Bark, but a bittersweet feeling lingers in the air. There's still a weight that cannot be shaken. While the crew revels in their win, Zoro is the only one still feeling the effects of his selfless sacrifice. Sanji, knowing the true cost of Zoro's bravery, keeps quiet, hiding the depth of the moment from the others. Amid the feast, Brook, the crew's new member, sits down at the piano and plays a hauntingly beautiful song, Bing Sasake. As the first notes fill the air, something shifts. For Luffy and Robin, the song stirs deep emotions and memories. Luffy shares his story of Laboon, the giant whale he met at Reverse Mountain, and Brook, moved by the connection, begins to open up about his own past. We're transported back into 50 years to when Brook and the Rumbar pirates first encountered Laboon, a baby whale stranded in the West Blue. They made a promise to return after venturing into the Grand Line, but tragedy struck. Laboon waited faithfully, unaware of the pirates' fate. The death of Brooks' captain, Yorkie, left Brook with the painful responsibility of keeping that promise, despite the loss of his entire crew. In a deeply emotional moment, Brooks plays the final song of the Rumbar Pirates ever performed. A haunting melody that echoes across time. The Straw Hats, united in grief and solidarity, join in tribute. Brook now fully is part of the crew and pledges to fulfill the promise he made to Laboon, dedicating his life to the Straw Hats. This is all about a promise that stretches across decades, about bonds that refuse to break, even in the face of immense loss. Meanwhile, Zoro, having recovered from his near-death experience, shares a quiet moment of respect with Brook, the two acknowledging each other's strength and loyalty. Zoro officially welcomes Brook as part of the crew, solidifying the bond between them. And as the crew prepares to leave, the emotional farewells do not stop. Lola of the Rolling Pirates gives Nami half of her Viver card, a potential lifeline for the crew should they need help finding Lola's mother in the new world. But in a reflective moment, Luffy remembers the Viver card of Ace that he gave him during Arabasta arc. It's burning and shrinking, a sign that Ace might be in danger. For once, Luffy does not rush to intervene. Instead, he trusts that Ace can handle whatever comes his way, resolving that their next meeting will be as rival pirates. This small moment is significant. It shows that just how much Luffy has grown as a leader, recognizing the importance of the rivalry and letting Ace stand on his own. The crew's departure from Thriller Bark marks both an ending and a new beginning. The Rolling Pirates may have their own journey, but the Straw Hats are set on theirs, each one carrying the weight of the past while daring to move forward. There is something larger than life lurking in the fog, an unknown challenge that will push them even further. But for now, the Straw Hats' bond remain unshaken. Their sails set for new horizons, with promises made and dreams ahead. What is your take on Thriller Bark? Let's discuss your experience in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you all in my next video. Bye bye!